If you research, look for reviews and recommendations for the list of MIDI controllers made for VJs. The list is not that long. You can find details, pros and cons of each controller, watching hundreds of videos. But the challenge is, they are mostly made for musicians and music producers, the primary users of MIDI controller. We may find some comparison videos out there, but none of those comparison videos are for VJs within such a big number of MIDI controllers exclusively for VJs. So let's take this wild drive. We will talk about handful of MIDI controllers highly recommended by VJs. Spoiler alert, a lot of them are already here. I will quickly summarize the pros and cons of each MIDI controller. I'm super excited to share this with you in this episode of All About Stage Shows. APC Mini. Pros. Portable. Oh my god, APC Mini is so portable even when it's packed inside this hard case. I'm going to leave a link for this case. This carry case is highly recommended for you if you want to survive taking it into events and taking it back to your studio and then working and so on. Another pro would be the price. Oh my god, this is darn cheap comparing to the brand, also the finish. Not that shiny, but you get awesome as you pay for. Remember, we just have saved some money chipping out on the controller, so we don't get RGB colors. That is one big con for this sweet MIDI controller. Akai APC Keys 25. Pros. You will get handful of velocity sensitive keys, so you can hit to the middle point with your finger, and you have enough trigger buttons to trigger your clip or FX or a cue. Not only that, you get enough knobs, so you can say you had it all with this controller. Cons. No RGB color because you saved some money. Just like the previous one, this one also has tricolor switches. That means it gives you green, yellow and red. So you can program 3 states of your clip with one button. So if you are previewing, it's yellow. If you are doing nothing, it's green. And when it's playing, it's red. But don't worry. Both of these two MIDI controllers have their MK2 version with RGB color. That is the RGB color I was talking about. So that one is a highly recommended MIDI controller and we are coming to that pretty soon. APC 40 MK2. Pros. Enough RGB switches, enough number of faders and enough number of knobs. You get tons of switches and buttons to do anything you want to do with your software. So here comes my honest confession, my relationship with Akai APC 40 MK2. I have around 15 or 16 MIDI controllers here and there. But for a 2, if I have to take one MIDI controller, let's say a tsunami is rising and I can just take one and run, I'm going to take Akai APC 40 MK2. Period. As you can see, I already have 2 Akai APC 40 MK2 because this one is pretty older one. Few faders are ruined. This one is newer and I might have to buy another Akai APC 40 MK2 pretty soon. There is a very important lesson you could learn from this. Okay, the main reason is my fingers are trained over past 13 or 14 years, starting from original Akai APC 40, later Akai APC 40 MK2. Then I might have to buy another MK2 because I know my strobes are there and my mixings are there. I don't have to like look and see what's happening. I just know, and if whatever happens, I just turn my eyes off and this goes off because I know my master fader is there forever. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is the best MIDI controller. I'm just saying I am attached to my MIDI controller. So choose your MIDI controllers very carefully. You will get stuck to it. That's a good thing, by the way, not a challenge if you are choosing the right one. And that is why I wanted to share my love story with Akai APC 40 MK2, because you will have to choose your controller carefully. It's very important, just like you are investing money on MIDI controller, you are also investing behind your muscle memory, your body comfort, the way you press your hand, the way you spread your fingers. That is where you should be concerned most. Now, the con side. So many of the Akai haters say this design is bulkier. I personally don't agree, because the amount of buttons and faders and knobs and switches you can get them all stacked together in smaller place than this. Also, if you are using the right carrying case, this is gonna last longer. This controller gradually died because I did not invest behind carry case. This one is surviving because this is living inside a carry case forever. Another negative side of this controller would be, compared to the other MIDI controllers we are going to check out today, this one, the layout is pretty old and you cannot upgrade the firmware. The next controller we are about to check is super customizable and upgradable. Speaking of modern tech and ability to upgrade firmware, the next controller we are going to try can do that. Novation Launchpad Mini MK3. The pros would be, this is tiny mini mini mode. This is so versatile and so customizable. You can practically make faders, and yes, you heard it right, faders out of these buttons, and grids and tap buttons. Also custom branding. Take a look how this baby looks with Z. Okay, the biggest pro of this controller is the biggest con. This controller is really tiny, means less control. And if you are a big dude, then you are going to have real fun. MPD 218 Pros. These are touch sensitive pads, means you can express your moods. Angry when you are loud and soft when you are feeling pretty. This controller has infinite rotary knobs. That means you can assign them to multiple functions and they are not locked. They can rotate forever. By the way, this one has 3 banks of knobs and this one has 3 banks of pads. Okay, if you are a fader dude, you don't get any faders in this controller. Also, these lights are placed in such a way barely visible from top, means your audience might see them but you might not. MIDI mix. The pros would be, this is a knob heavy controller, means if you are into noodling knobs, you can go as deep as you want. This is excellent as a second MIDI controller in my opinion. The cons would be, well, no cons found. I can be hard on this and try to make this primary and one and only controller for a show, but I am soon going to run out of buttons, trigger buttons, mostly because this has barely usable switches. But as I said before, this is an excellent controller if this is your secondary one. So if that is your secondary controller, what can be your primary one? It must be something premium. Yes, let's talk about Tractor F1. The pros would be, okay, to be honest, this is very injustice talking about this controller in this video because this is not a MIDI controller. This is a DJ controller that has MIDI function. So we are kind of using one feature of this whole controller and using it into our world, VJ's world. So the build of this controller is a premium DJ build control. The faders, well-lit buttons, and you can customize the color and the knobs, everything super DJ player like premium. Okay, cons. Again, this is not a MIDI controller. This will be very injustice if we put our complaint as MIDI controller. Yet the only controller we VJs can say the customization and all the functions are too much tractor-ish. So too much based on Tractor's software. If you are a Tractor user, you will get fullest. And that's pretty much all about this controller. If I find any more downside, I'm going to rant it in my Instagram because you know Meta loves spreading rage. So follow my Instagram to see me ranting about MIDI controllers. I'm going to leave the links to all the controllers here and recommended in the description so that you can add it in your wish list and keep it until you emo blackmail your girlfriend or your wife. Shh, don't say it to anyone. Now I'm going to put few recommendation of MIDI controller for VJs that we haven't covered yet. Akai Mini MK2. The pro side would be compact. The size is fantastic. This has bright RGB switches that are arranged in a grid so that can be used for launching clips and effects. The price is super. Cons. No rotary knobs. The faders are really small. I mean really small. So you get what you pay for. Akai LPD8 Pros: ultra portable with velocity sensitive pads and assignable rotary knobs, and super and a great affordable price. The cons would be this has only 8 pads, no faders. I would feel like my hands are tied and thrown into ocean if I'm sent on a show with this controller. But sure, this can be a good one if you're starting out. Akai APC Keys 25 MK2. The pros would be great RGB light, good balance of velocity sensitive keys, trigger switches and knob. The cons would be if you are a fader guy, you are not getting any fader in this controller. Novation Launch Control XL. The pros would be enough number of buttons, faders and knobs. The buttons are really bright and you can customize according to your VJ software. Cons: no cons found. Write down in the comment below if you have some ranting about this controller. I surely want to know. Korg Nano Control 2. Pros: ultra slim, budget friendly with faders, knob and transport control. Cons: comparing to all the MIDI controllers I have mentioned in this video, this one is the most cheapest build because this is cheap one, plastic build. Remember we were talking about this one, Native Instrument Tractor F1. Apparently this is one of the 3 devices for that series. They also support MIDI. Let's check them out. Native Instruments Tractor X1. Pros: compact. Oh, look at the build and look at the lighting, also the faders and knobs. Oh, this would be a premium DJ controller because it is fully performance style. This brings us to the price. Okay, the cons would be this is expensive but not that much because it's designed for DJs. That is a con for a MIDI controller for VJ, but I bet you can get around it somewhere. The third injustice con would be lack of faders. This is mostly a knob-based controller and switches, tons of it. Native Instrument Tractor Z1. The pros. Okay, this one is totally for DJs with audio interface inbuilt. But can we VJs take it away from them and make it our tool? I throw this challenge to you and you let me know, is it possible or not? Because if you stack these 3 controllers together, oh my god, just look at how they look. I want to perform visual with that setup someday. MIDI Fighter by DJ Tech Tools. Pros. Okay, I have seen great reviews and recommendations about this controller. I did not personally get to use this controller, but I know why this is popular because each parts are a button, knobs at the same time. That means you can do multiple action with same trigger. This has super fast arcade buttons and this can take heavy beating arcade style. Okay, the cons would be I do not have it in my hand, so I cannot rant it properly. But if you have some cons about this controller, don't forget to share in my Instagram because Meta loves it. By the way, there is a cool WhatsApp community for VJs sharing inspiration, ideas, helping out each other. I'm going to leave a link in the description. You are invited to join in our gang. Subscribe to our channel for more awesome videos like this. And hi, my name is Junaid Sabbir Ahmed. I'm from a beautiful country called Bangladesh. And check out this video next where I expressed what 4 things you need to start VJing right away.